Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 5 of our discussions. Me and Phil were having a chat about the 5 behaviours, the framework that we use within our L&D function to drive long-term behavioural change in organisations rather than transactional-based learning and development, which is really, really important. So we've come through trust, Phil. We've come through conflict, Phil. We've come through commitment, Phil. And then we discussed accountability. And now part 5, this is where we can pat ourselves on the back because we're now talking results. Is that right?
Yeah, thank you for that. I need a drum roll. Yeah, absolutely right. Focusing on teams, if you can get them into that place, you're in high performance now. You're in that high performance place where they're in what we would call flow. So they're in that flow state where they just do things. They're not thinking about, you think of a band, you think of any great band, they'll just get on stage and play. They're at that stage, they're at that stage where they can just do that. They're not thinking about, when do I come in? What do you do? Is it my turn to sing? It's just happening. We're in that beautiful place of being unconsciously competent. And that's when you get the best results. But focusing on results, as I say, the only measure of a great team and a great organization is whether it hits its goals and targets and what it's accomplishing. That's the measurement. So we're not in all this, we're still focusing on results. We're not avoiding that, but what we're talking about are behaviors to get us to that place. That's the key thing. It's the behaviors that get us to achieve the results. And if you get, you'll get transformational leadership and transformational cultures if you get leadership development right. You get a buy-in from people. You get what is known as like a unifying purpose. Competency levels are at their highest, so everybody knows what they're doing and how they're doing it. And above all, execution. So execution in terms of getting the job done. And that's where you get that transformation, and that's built on the 5 behaviors.
I think the biggest thing that just hit me from the perspective that you just talked about there is very often when we're talking to organizations and we start talking about trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, they often think of them as soft leadership. They talk about fuzzy bits, and primarily because they don't understand them. And you just hit the nail on the head. I think none of this is about taking away the fact that we exist to achieve a goal. We exist to achieve results. We Absolutely. Exist in an organization because ultimately we have a purpose within that organization, whether we're in sales, whether in operations, whatever we are in. And therefore we have expectations on us to achieve results. What this framework does is it puts the behaviors in play that actually means if you fall off any of them, you can go easily back into any of those behaviors because you'll be able to see exactly where it's going wrong. And it can cascade from any of these behaviors at any one time.
Yeah.
Am I right in sort of thinking that?
Absolutely. When you're bringing new people in and you're bringing the right people in, although we call them the ideal team players, and that's obviously for another discussion, but you'll bring the right people in at the right time to keep that going.
Brilliant. So I think what we've done is we've taken people through in this series of, it was actually 6 videos, wasn't it? Because the first one was just kind of an introduction to the 5 behaviors, but we've now taken people through the 5 behaviors that we believe will transform organizations into high-performing teams. And that is the process that we work through with any kind of learning and development that we offer. And even when we're dealing with transactional, there will still be an element of this within it because we are looking for that long-term behavioral change. And I know from some of the conversations and some of the pitches that we've been involved in over the last few weeks, it's really been important, hasn't it, to stress we get people come and ask us to run a training course on X, Y, and Z. And our first question to them is, what about the behavioral change? What are you trying to give them that's going to change it for the long term rather than the short term? And I think, as Sharpstone, as you, we put our fee on the line for guaranteeing return on investment. That's what we do. We want to create a USP and a differentiation from anybody else out there that says, if we cannot transform your organization and pay for everything that you've put through, we will put our fee up against that. So I think, you know, we believe in this passionately. I know you believe in it passionately, and hopefully that comes across to everybody out there. Phil, I want to thank you for your time over the last few weeks with regards to looking at the 5 behaviours. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or just anything that you want to sort of say to any of the organisations that are feeding back to us stuff that will resonate out there?
I suppose just one thing, because a lot of things we talk about with the 5 behaviours, you could think that was just related to leadership and leadership teams. What I do and what I train around as well is the same process within sales organizations. It's the same process. So if you imagine that and translate that into a sales process, there's still sales process, but it has to be based on trust. So if I can go into a customer and build a relationship of trust, have healthy conflict with them, share a commitment to a goal, have accountability around our behaviors of that goal, and then we share the results, whatever they might be, because we're a partnership. That's transformational in sales as well as leadership.
Whoa. It's what we stand for, isn't it?
It is.
It's what we stand for. It's what we believe in. It's what we passionately believe in. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for their feedback and everything else. That's the 5 behaviours done. Watch this space. We've got loads of other stuff to talk to you about as well. But give us a call, engage with us, talk to us, ask us questions. It's not going to cost anything. It's just a chat, by all means. And we'll look forward to chatting with your organisation and seeing whether we can help. It'd be brilliant. Thanks again, Phil, for your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
And we'll see you all again soon.
Yes.
Take care.